When jurors take their seats in this Carroll County courtroom, they'll be asked to decide whether Richard Allen did, in fact, murder Abby Williams and Libby German.
I think the world will be watching.
13 News legal expert Katie Jackson-Lindsay has tried both sides of a murder case as a deputy prosecutor and as a criminal defense attorney. She says when the Carroll County prosecutor presents the state's case to the jury, it will focus on painting a picture of the crime scene.
We don't know every single piece of evidence that was collected. We don't know how significant every piece of that evidence is. Learning more about the crime scene itself and educating this jury on that is going to be really important for the prosecution.
Also important for the prosecutor, establishing for the jury that Richard Allen was actually at the scene of the crimes.
That's so important because at this juncture, Richard Allen is the only person charged with these murders. They have to be able to put Richard Allen there, I think, to have credibility with this jury.
Allen denies having anything to do with the murders, but police say he did admit to being on the walking trails near the Monon High Bridge, not far from the crime scene, on the day of the murders, and the jury will hear that.
And so the state's going to use that as a very burning piece of evidence to, first and foremost, at least put him in the area and give him opportunity. But on the other hand, that can also cut both ways, because if he truly committed these crimes, why would he admit that?
We also expect the state to tell jurors about a bullet found at the crime scene. Even though the court records suggest the girls' deaths were not caused by a firearm, investigators say forensic testing conducted on an unfired bullet found near the girls' bodies show it matches a gun that belonged to Richard Allen.
That it's a pretty critical piece of evidence for the prosecution because it's the single piece of physical evidence, as I understand it, that links Richard Allen to the scene.
Expect the defense team to challenge that evidence and the controversial science of linking an unfired bullet to a specific gun. And when the state tells the jury that Richard Allen allegedly confessed to the murders while in prison, well, his defense team will push back on that too.
As the state's presenting this evidence, we're going to watch the defense challenge every single one of these witnesses in cross-examination.
She says cross-examination is when the defense team will try to undermine the credibility of police, how they investigated the murders, and how they singled out Allen. And the defense wants the jury to hear an alternative theory about the murders. Their claim that Abby and Libby were murdered not by Richard Allen, but by people who were conducting a pagan ritual sacrifice.
We are going into this trial with a roadmap of the entire defense strategy, and that is that someone else, some other guy other than Richard Allen, committed this crime.
But Judge Francis Gall recently ruled the defense will not be able to call their own witnesses to back up that strategy.